Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. So, this is take 3 of this episode, and I was actually talking about something else, but now I'm feeling drawn to have another discussion. This idea did come up while I was running today, but for whatever reason didn't come through until I got interrupted with a phone call for the second time. And so we're going to talk about kind of moving through a new perspective, a new paradigm, essentially. So I shared on the previous episode that I had attended a real estate investment seminar this past weekend. And I went into it, one, being totally new to this, right? I know very little about real estate, if anything. However, we do have a good portion of our friends have been very successful in real estate. And so I decided that we were done sitting on the sidelines and I was going to start my quote unquote formal education in real estate. And so I started with this seminar. And I went into it again, knowing that I was brand new, but there were different parts throughout the seminar where I felt myself start to close off and be like, nope, like that's not the way. And it was in regards to how these people were speaking about money and investments. And this has a lot to do with how you grew up, right? The things that you heard your parents say about money are most likely your strongest beliefs in regards to money. And full disclosure, I am learning. I am open to seeing this a different way because the way that I grew up was definitely a lack mindset. I constantly heard, that's a want, not a need. Money doesn't grow on trees. We don't have the money for that. Now, having said all that, I appreciate where my parents came from, okay? They did the best that they could with what they were given, and no part of me is angry or resentful or bitter about that. None. I love my parents dearly. I know they did the best that they could, and I'm grateful for everything that they've done for me, okay? I also know that there's another way in which I can do this. And so during this seminar, when they kept bringing up all the different things about money, I felt myself start to tighten. And I was like, ooh, I don't, And I had to consciously pull back and say, okay, there's another way that they're looking at this. There is always another way. And just because their way isn't aligning with my way doesn't mean that they're wrong. They've clearly been very successful in real estate. So let me stay open-minded to this and see what I can learn about money and how money works. Because the paradigm in which I live in with how money works, yes, it's created success for me, but I want that next level of financial success. I just want it. I want to be able to provide for my kids. And more than anything else, I know that I did not come from a wealthy family, but I want a wealthy family to come from me. And so if that is my goal, and I don't mean rich snobs, I mean like wealth, where there's no lack mindset. It's an abundant mindset. Because there are plenty of wealthy people that I know that are so generous. I can speak generous with their time, with their money, with their resources. And I would like to do that on a greater level. And so I have to be open to this new paradigm, a new shift in how I operate with money. And to be totally frank, it's kind of terrifying because it does kind of grind against how I grew up, right? I did spend a good portion of several years back. I followed Dave Ramsey like religiously, and I did all of that stuff. And then there was a point where I was like, you know what? This doesn't feel aligned anymore. I've got to find another way in which money can work for me. And so I've been searching for that. And again, over this weekend, there was another one presented to me, the way that they view money, the way that money works for them. And I thought, okay, let's see how this feels. Let's try this on for size and see how it feels. And I literally had to pep talk myself through this material that they were teaching and going, it's okay. A different view is okay. Let's try it on for size and let's see how this works, because they're clearly doing something that's working. And so how can I learn a little bit more and get comfortable with the way that they're working with money in a way that I can start to use it and work well with money in that way? Okay. So when it comes to this thing, I'm talking about it because this podcast episode got interrupted twice from a call from the bank for one of the businesses, because I was, full example, my energy is like all over the place right now. Okay. So one of our businesses, we do have a line of credit, and I was asking for an advance for that line of credit in order to pay an invoice, to pay for an investment in the business, right? And my energy was like, oh my God, you have to ask for money. What are you doing? Why are you doing that, right? Like, we don't need to do it. And was like justifying all of these things, where this new paradigm that's coming in is saying there's money available to you. You might as well use it to grow. And the old paradigm is like, well, how the heck are we going to pay it back? What if we don't have that money? What if it's not right? And it was just, and I'm sitting with it right now. This is full. This is real happening. And so I'm sitting with this energy between the two that are, I don't even want to call them competing, because they're not competing. It's like they're making space for each other, right? Where there's the part of me that's saying, okay, this worked to get me here, but now the next level is something very different. And that just felt satisfied. Okay. Yeah, this is happening live. So if you're listening to this recording, obviously you're in full process with me. So, and this is bringing me back to the conversation that I had with my son just last week in regards to his golf game, right? Like, what got you here won't get you there. And so this next level of financial freedom that I'm looking at, it's going to require a different paradigm and a different strategy with money than what got me here. And that can be scary, because you don't necessarily know what that looks like all the way through. And it's going to take time for you to sit with yourself and go, okay, like what can I do differently here? How can I support myself through this shift and this change? Because it's going to be a big one. And I'm trying not to let all this energy out, but I can feel myself starting to shake a little bit here. And so it's just, again, it's loving yourself for how you got here, and then being open to how you get to the next level. Yeah. And so that's going to take some time, some integration, some support. I am grateful for the support community that I have already built around these changes. I have reached out to close friends and let them know, hey, we're starting this. So if I ask you a bunch of questions, that's where it's coming from. And And the amount of support that I've gotten has been really, really awesome, and I'm very excited about it. But I've taken the time to nourish those relationships, not knowing that they were going to ultimately support me in this part, but definitely have a great community around me supporting that. And that is probably one of the biggest keys to success there, is having what can be called a power team, a group of people that are going to challenge you, that are going to help you get to that next level, whatever that looks like for you. And I'm going to just put this out there. If you would like me on your power team, send me a message. I would be happy to have that conversation with you. And if you want me to help you curate your own power team, let's chat. Let's make sure you have the right people in the corner for you to get to that next level. I've got an incredible power team. They're awesome. I know who to call for what questions and all the things. This is exciting. All right. So thank you for processing that with me. I appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And if you do have questions about this power team, this is just coming through. So I don't know what that looks like in terms of that, but I can definitely help you start to put together the right people in your corner so that you can get to the next level. Because I know that's really what you want to do anyways. So I'm sending you so much love. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye.